After having read a lot of books, if I were to summarize my entire knowledge on success, I can do it in 5 words. And those 5 words are what Winston Churchill's mother told me. Become all you can become. That's it. So if you are giving me only 3 minutes to talk, I would have just said this and sat off. I would have said, become all you can become. That is all that is necessary in life. So I started reading. I became a student of anthropomaximology, which is the study of higher potential of human beings. What are we capable of achieving? Then I read about teleology. So these are tough words. They don't mean much. Teleology only means goal-centeredness. How you write down your goals every day and start attempting to achieve them. That's it. Then I got a certificate license in neuro-linguistic programming. Very interesting branch, neuro-linguistic programming. All it says is, how do you talk to yourself and create neural circuits in the brain to achieve success? So that was very exciting for me because I said, okay, if I talk a lot to myself, I don't know whether you people do or not. So I got interested, and success I realized was not a designation. If I'm the chairperson of an organization, it doesn't mean that I'm more successful than the other person. You know, I became head of the department or something, the dean, medical, does not mean that I'm more successful than everybody else. Success is not luck. You don't become successful by luck. You don't win a gold medal in the Olympics by luck. You know? Success is not chance. यार ये गलती से successful हो गए. It doesn't happen that way. Success is also not comparing what you have achieved with what somebody else has achieved. And I'm sure all of us understand that. You know, just because somebody else has a bigger car, bigger house, better city, does not mean that that person is more successful than you are. So success actually can be achieved by design. Success is you can create success for yourself. There is a science to success. And success, when it is not comparing what you have achieved with what somebody else has achieved, success is really comparing what you have achieved with what you could have achieved. And if you can define success under those definitions, I think it's brilliant. Well, you're not bothered what somebody else is doing. You're only worried about, hey, what can I do? So I'm going to take you quickly through slides, and I think so 25 minutes more I'm going to wind up. So wherever we reach, this is an important question. I don't know how many of us have asked ourselves this question. Are we living our dream? So when we were teenagers and younger people, we dreamt a lot. You know? So have we accommodated to the circumstances, or are we living our dreams? And this is, Benjamin Franklin said this. He said, most of us are like sundials in the shade. Sundials only work when they are under the sun. In the shade, they are absolutely useless. So are we doing that? And there comes the few principles that so there are several principles and there are fundamentals. So whatever your definition of success is, it doesn't matter to me. But those fundamentals of achieving that success remain the same. They are like, that's why they are called fundamentals. They don't change, they remain the basic structure. So the challenge is, can all of us get up in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to do very well today, and this next week, next month, next year, the next decade of my life is going to be absolutely brilliant. That is the challenge. So let's look at whether we can. So I started asking this question, is there a science? Is there a methodology, a technique? You know, we have a technique for everything. When I teach students how to do laparoscopy, there is a technique, there is a checklist. But why don't we get up in the morning and say, hey, am I going through the checklist for success in my life? And are we born to succeed or not? You know, I'm writing this book on the anatomy of success, and that book actually summarizes the components of success. So when it is out, I'll announce, and you know, all of you can go back and read it. I have a separate talk on that entire thing, so I don't want to indulge in that just now. But Viktor Frankl wrote this book, Man's Search for Meaning, and he said something very interesting. He said, most of us are going through life in an existential vacuum. Existential vacuum is, we don't even know the purpose of our life. We go through life, but we don't know what are we doing on this earth, you know. So he said, if we can find out that purpose, it's absolutely brilliant, because every day you get up in the morning excited, you know. Hey, I want to achieve this. And for that purpose and your dream, then you also want to work hard. So you want to remain healthy, you want to maintain relationships, you want to believe in some almighty or God, and you want to become successful in your profession. So you do all that because you have some purpose in life. You need to do something that is worthwhile. James Allen wrote this book, probably 75, 80 years back, As a Man Thinketh. And he said something interesting. He said there are only two truths in life. Number one, all your thoughts in the past have got you to achieve what you have achieved today. Every thought that you had helped you achieve. And the second truth is, whatever you're thinking today is going to help you achieve what you want to achieve in the near future. So your thoughts are controlling everything. Jim Rohn wrote this book, Keys to Happiness and Success. And he said, success is not something you pursue. So why we say, it's something like what Gita also says, that, you become a doer, keep working, and success will come to you. So you don't follow the path, I want to become successful, I want to become successful. You become a person who's so good that success comes to you. So success is something you attract by the person you become. And that's what these fundamentals are about. So I share my little experience of what I have done in nephroscopy and in the last so many years, the small achievements and I lived by these principles. I would get up every day and say, hey, I talk about these things. So am I going to walk these things or not? So it became very useful. So I'm not interested in whether you people are affected by any of those principles or not. But guess what? Every time I have to talk, so I have to prepare. And in that preparation, I become an achiever. So that's why, I keep accepting these invitations. So I go back and read a lot and come back and then I have to walk my talk. So it helps me tremendously. This is the proverbial wall of success that all of us want to climb. Okay, there used to be a ladder of success at one time. Everybody said climb the ladder of success. That ladder is gone, And as Sheryl Sandberg says, there is now a jungle gym. It's like those snakes and ladders we used to play, So you climb somewhere and suddenly snake bites you and you come down. And then you start struggling and climb up again. Very rarely you reach the top. Otherwise somebody or the other keeps pushing you down. So Jim Rohn said, if you want to achieve these principles, you have to work hard yourself. Okay, you can't hire somebody else to do your push-ups. Ashish would know that, isn't it? So you wouldn't tell a patient where preventive cardiology is necessary. Tell your wife to exercise every day for you, so that you don't get a heart attack, or your son. We have to do all that work ourselves. And there are several principles. I have picked up a few of them. I don't know whether I'll be able to finish all of them, but I'll summarize some of them here only, so wherever we reach, by 4 o'clock we would have reached, The first is neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity is our ability to rewire and create neural circuits in our brain to create a substantial change in our lives. That means learning. So a simpler word for neuroplasticity is learning new things, learning novel things, exciting things, interesting things, so that you change your life totally. The second one is willpower. Your ability to control your impulses. Self-control it is called. So if self-control, it is said self-control is one of the most important strategies to do well in life. Because again, if you want to take care of your health, control your diet. If you want to take care of your health, exercise every day. So some disciplines are necessary. The next is thinking skills. I think all of us need to have clarity of thought. And Brian Tracy said one of the most important principles to do well in life is clarity in your thinking. So as a surgeon today, I know if I'm, I put in a laparoscope inside and I said, if I'm not clear about what I'm going to do, that surgery is going to be a mess. So clarity is important. And finally, compound effect and balance. Everything that you do, it is said to do well in life. Tell me what you do every day from morning to night, and I'll tell you whether you're going to do well in life. It is such a simple thing. So if you get up in the morning, and are you reading? Are you taking care of your health in terms of exercising, walking? What did you eat? What do you read? Who are the people you meet? So every minute that you spend doing something worthwhile, it's called the compound effect. Right? It's going to accumulate and get you to do well in life. That's it. So it's not what have you done in the last 10 years. It's what did you do in the last 10 minutes or 10 days probably that decides. And the last one is balance. I think you must keep, I keep telling everybody, keep a balance in your personal life, professional life, family life, and spiritual life. So that The balance of these four areas is absolutely essential. No amount of awards and medals and things like that, on your shoulder, all the little pins and all, can compensate for a failed family life. I knew of a very senior gynecologist, brilliant, had a Mercedes. So when we were all on our scooters and motorcycles, this guy used to drive a Mercedes, and we would get very impressed. Oh my gosh, this guy's a Mercedes. But guess what? Husband and wife, both gynecologists, very popular. Only son turned into a drug addict. Now, how many of us would say these guys are very successful? Fantastic. See, they drive a Mercedes. It doesn't help at all. So I think that balance in your life is so very important. If you do professionally very well, and you are half the time going to Ashish contractor and saying, heart attack ho gaya, angioplasty ho gaya. So you can't live your life to the fullest. So you need to have a good health program. So do you need a lot of resources for this to do well in life? No. Bill Gates said this, and I think that was a brilliant statement. He said to do well in life, the only factory asset you need is your imagination and your idea. That's it. So none of us should complain that I don't have enough money, I don't live in London, New York, and so you need nothing. All you need is a few good ideas and a little imagination. So he doesn't say some idea, something. He said the only factory asset is imagination. So that helps us in determining that, okay, so I don't need a father who's very rich, I don't need, Vashila resources in terms of people helping me out to get ahead in life. No, it's my imagination which is going to help me. So quickly, the basis of all these fundamentals starts with we must take responsibility for our lives, whether we like it or not. This book said, God does not play dice with all of us. He doesn't get up in the morning and say, हाँ चलो आज पटेल साहब को हार्ट अटैक देंगे हाँ अरे डिसूजा को मार दो. It doesn't happen that way. So he says I have given you the complete genotype. You have those 20,640 genes in your 23 pairs of chromosomes. You have all kinds of genes. So the hardware is there. Now utilize it. It's like all of us have those Mac Pro and very fancy laptops or fancy phones, and you don't even know how to use them. So it's useless. So we must get that. So my question to you is this guy going to help you succeed in life? How many of us believe that he's going to tell you that, how many surgeries you will do, Sheetal, or how many patients will have complications, or how successful? No. You think this guy will help? I went to Allahabad. There is that Sangam with Ganga, Jamuna, and Saraswati. Saraswati is just notional, just a little stream. But Ganga and Jamuna, the streams meet. And that's a beautiful location. How many of you have been to Allahabad and seen the Sangam? Such a lovely thing. And you have to sit in that boat and go a little further because you can't see it from the Kinara. You have to go down there. So when you go there, this guy came here, as soon as I got off the car, he said, "Sahab, आपका भविष्य बताएंगे?" I said, "कितने पैसे लगे होता है? कुछ भी दे देना जो आपकी मदद." So negotiation starts there for my future. I said, "No, tell me." He said, 40-50 रुपए दे देना. And that excited me. I said, in 40-50 rupees, he's going to tell me my future. I said, fantastic. So I asked him, how many hysterectomies am I going to do next month? 50 rupees. He said, वो क्या होता है? I said, अगर आप ये भी नहीं जानते कि वो क्या होता है, तो आप कैसे बताओगे मेरा future कैसे है? So we have to learn this. So this was my friends who were there with me. So they said, we'll take this boat, and they said, if you have this boat and you go to the Ganga and Jamuna jahan milte hain, and you put this boat contains some flowers and mithai and he said, if it goes, and you make a wish, your wish comes true. Cost of this investment for this is 15 rupees. I said, good, 15 rupees. But I was more intelligent than my friends. I took 2 of those. I had 2 big dreams, So 30 rupees investment worth it. I said, well, let's go ahead. But I think we must understand that all these people sitting there are not there to change our lives. They cannot predict our future. I love this statement, hope is not a very good success strategy. And all of us say, hope everything goes on well. But I would believe that if I'm doing a laparoscopic surgery and the uterine artery is bleeding, I cannot take out the telescope and say, I hope the bleeding stops. How many surgeons would want to do that? Anesthesia. I hope this patient comes out of anesthesia. Chalo, hum log to ghar chalte hain. Hope is not a good success strategy. We need to work hard very, very well. Another question we should keep asking ourselves is that how many of us are going to, I think Sheetal was telling me just some time back, you must stretch your comfort zone. All of us are in a bubble. We like that bubble, we roam around in that bubble. The moment you have to stretch yourself, you say, I'm uncomfortable today, I'm tired today, I don't think This is good. So we must take care of that. Another question you and I must keep asking ourselves. So Tom Peters said this. He said, what have you done in the last 90 days which has been remarkably different from the previous 90 days? The last 3 months, what have you done which is going to help you change your life? You have a short life. So if you keep doing the same thing for 10 years, hey, life is boring. Keep doing so. So I would modify this and say, why 90 days, Why not make it 30 days? Every 30 days take a little checklist on what have I done in the last 30 days which is uniquely different from what I had done earlier. Or you can be more smart and say, what have I done in the last 1 week, in the last 24 hours, which has been different from what I have been doing earlier. So nobody is coming to your rescue to really help you to succeed in life. Do you think any of these politicians will help you ever? You think that if the government changes, you will be more successful? If better ministers come in, they are not interested in you. They are only interested in themselves, in their seats, in whatever they are interested in, So you think the police will help you? They can't help themselves. They are in a mess. So look at all those people. I picked up a few of these pictures from the newspaper. I said, it's an awakening call which says there is nobody outside who can help you. They are there. So this guy, I don't know how many of you have seen this picture. When this additional or deputy commissioner of police said, I can't go through water, very kind gili ho jayegi, so pick me up. How is he going to save you from terrorists? And he can't even walk through water. So we must understand, these are lawyers. So there are doctors also who do this. These are our ministers who represent us in the parliament. Nobody is coming to our rescue to help us out. We must take care of these things ourselves. Look at these people. So how many of us believe that these people are going to help us out? One of the, here, I don't know whether you can read it, it said the National Disaster Management Authority member came saying, he was attending a conference, so he's sleeping away. So you think he's interested in what is being discussed in the, not interested at all. So I go jogging in the morning, following what Ashish says and all my cardiologist friends say. So I used to go to the Jew Beach, now I'm on Carter Road, Bandstand, and I'm running around. So there's an aeroplane garden there. How many of you from the western suburbs would that Juhu, that corner there? So in that corner, when you come to that signal and park your car, there are small children who come and knock on your door and want to sell something. You've seen that? So one day I put my windows on and asked him, "What is it?" बोलता है सब आपको बचाएगा. ऐसे कैसे बचाएगा? बोलता है सब भूत प्रेत से बचाएगा, एक्सीडेंट से बचाएगा, कोई भी प्रॉब्लम होएगा उससे ये बचाएगा आपको. ऐसे क्या करूँगा इसका? बोलता है साहब लगा लेना. ऐसे कितने का है? इसे 2 रुपए का. So I bought it and I put it up in my consulting room. I said, let me use it and see, if it can help me in my diagnosis and if it can help me in preventing problems, why not use it? Why not use it in the operation theatre? Imagine in the operation theatre, you think it will save me from creating complications with bladder injuries, ureteric injuries, bleeding, and all the problems that can occur? So I said, so when I bought it, I said, okay, let me help him out, let me try it out. When I was just going to die, he said, "Saab, ek aur le lo na." These are again, marketing skills and all. So I said, मैं दूसरे का क्या करूँगा? बोलता है, "साहब पिछू लगा लेना." So I said, okay, let me try it, with something behind also. But going into the operation theatre with an investment of 12 rupees or 14 rupees, if it can prevent me from having complications, I would really love that. I don't know how many of us would agree that. So we must get up. You think this is going to help? I asked this. I walked into a gas station one day to fill petrol. And I said, ये क्यों लगाया हुआ है? बोलता है, साहब ये आग का डर है ना पेट्रोल पंप पे. I said, आग का डर है तो नींबू मिर्ची क्या करेगा? Fire extinguishers किधर होते हैं? वो भी लगा है सामने. So we get an impression that these things are going to help us. So look at this, and this is not in India. I was in Istanbul, Turkey, and they were selling all these, whatever blue I wanted to call it. So they said this protects you from a house from all these problems. So I would love to put them up. There's a lot of them all around. But we have to get up and start working hard ourselves. I think we must remember that. So 1991, I wanted to go to Germany for training, and like everybody, most of us, I didn't have the resources. I wanted to buy my ticket, Bombay, London, London, Hamburg, and go to Kiel for. And I didn't have the money. I went to my father, who was a school teacher, and I said, "Hey, please, I need some money. I want to go for training for laparoscopy to Professor Kurtz." He said, "Sorry, beta, paise nahi hai." I said, "Can I arrange it? Is it okay to go?" He said, "Please." So I picked. The only thing I had at that time was my motorcycle. So I sold off my motorcycle. I said I sold it off for some 16,500 and 18,500 feet. It was a ticket that I bought, to go to Germany. And I put in everything that I had, went in, trained, and came back. And guess what happened after that? I by default, I became one of the pioneers in laparoscopic surgery. Just because in 1991, nobody else had gone. Only one person from India had gone to Germany for training. I was the second person. I got that benefit. And the investment was what? My emotional attachment to the motorcycle that I had. I said, okay, let me go. So what I did was, and then of course I came back, did very well, and bought one car, and the second car, and the third car. So I kept buying cars and all. I felt very nice. Till 4 days back, so today is Dr. Misty's birthday. 4 days back was my birthday. And guess what my family gave me? A motorcycle. And my father was so upset. He said, "Beta, itni gaadiyan hai, abhi motorcycle kyun chalana hai?" I said, "This is a cycle of life. I mean, you start walking earlier, then you buy a bicycle, a motorcycle, and then better car. Then your cardiologist says start walking, so you come to cycling. Then you have that on the treadmill at home, so you're walking at home only. And then you're cycling at home, and finally you're walking again, and all your cars are parked in the garage, and the cycle of life. So I think we must get up and find out. You think this guy is going to change our life? How many of us believe that he's going to help us change our life? He doesn't know about his future also. As an astrologer, and he's got no customers. So this guy, when I got this picture from Indian Express, I made a slide out of that. And there was a little SMS that, WhatsApp में some message came in, and that was brilliant. It said, हाथों की लकीरों पर कभी यकीन न करना. हाथों की लकीरों पर कभी यकीन न करना, क्योंकि तकदीर उनकी भी होती है जिनके हाथ नहीं होते. So that is for our destiny. We believe astrology is a science itself, but hey, what about people who don't have arms? They don't have a future or a destiny? I think we must understand that. So I'm going to start winding up just a couple of things. How many of you can do this? Learning is a phenomenon, neuroplasticity. Learning is a phenomena which all of us can learn anything that we want. I teach laparoscopy, and I can assure you, I can get anybody from the audience here and take you and teach laparoscopy. Because your neural circuits can also learn laparoscopy. So how many of you sitting in this auditorium can do this? If you can do this, please raise your hand. How many of you can do this? This is important, and keep your hand up so I can continue to see. I'm going to do the next step. How many of you can do the next step? If you can do it, continue to keep your hand up. If you cannot do it, put your hand down. So how many of you can do this now? If you can do it, continue to keep your hands up. If you cannot do it, put your hand down. I see a good number of hands. Continue to keep them up, please. Okay, so now how many of you can do this? If you can do this, please keep your hand up. If you cannot do this, keep your hand down. So keep all juggling. So how many people can hands up? All hands down. So a few questions for you. Number one ball, I think most of you had your hands up. Second ball came in, half the hands went down. So what was the reason? Anybody? Okay, but question, if you didn't think that you can do with two balls, but you've not even tried, isn't it? So how do you decide that you can't do it? Because you've not tried. So our mental comfort zone says, this looks so, a perception of our limitation, of our competency says that I don't think I'll be able to do it. Hey, my question is, how many opportunities in our life have we missed out because of a perception that I can't do this? So look at that. If you can attempt, if you can go ahead and attempt to do things that you think you cannot do, I think success comes in very easily. The next thing you're worried about, can somebody come up and demonstrate juggling? At least try juggling. You can't do it. I want one volunteer. Anybody? Come up quickly. Okay, so try juggling. So see something interesting. Okay, two facts you need to know about learning. Number one, Nothing works the first time. Nothing in your life works the first time, including juggling. So, if he is not tried juggling before, he will not be able to do it. You try cycling the first time, you will not succeed. You jump into the water thinking that you know swimming, you will not be able to succeed. You know? So nothing works the first time. If you fail, if you have attempted something the first time, don't even bother. Say, I'm going to do it again because this is the first time I've tried it. It doesn't matter. Please continue to do whatever you wish to do. Do not stop at first time. Number 2, does Dr. Mishra become a failure because he couldn't juggle? No. So, when you attempt something that is an event and you have failed in that event, you're not a failure as a person. If you understand these 2 things, you can go ahead and do anything that you want because you're not scared. Most of us are embarrassed at what people will say, and the moment he tried juggling and the ball fell, everybody was smiling, giggling, laughing. Okay, this is what happens in life. You attempt something new and people are going to criticize you, they're going to laugh at you, they're going to say, idiot, he thought he could juggle, so he went up on stage. See, I knew I can't juggle, so I kept sitting here. The people who get ahead in life are the people who are not bothered about what people are going to say and you know whether they're going to laugh or whatever they're going to do. I am going to go ahead and do it. I think you will do very well in life. I must conclude by saying that we must do what Helen Keller said. Helen Keller said something very interesting. She said security is a superstition. If some of us think that, you know, अरे थोड़ा बैंक में पैसा आ जाए तो security आ जाएगी. Oh, money there today, gone tomorrow. All your shares today, gone tomorrow. Then some of us start thinking that, oh, my parents are there and everybody around there, they'll help me out when I need help. Parents there today, gone tomorrow. Then some of us who've grown a little senior start saying, I've got 2 sons, you know. I've got children at home, they'll look after me. Oh, children here today, America tomorrow. So security is a superstition. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Thank you very much.